Hello, hello, hello. Happy Sunday. Happy Sunday indeed. Welcome to my channel and welcome if you are new. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button and the notification bell if you liked this video. Today we are reacting to Dank Demoss, the popular rapper Lyft incident, and talking about a very serious topic, which is weight discrimination. For context, for those of you who are not aware of the story, so she ordered the lift arrived, and the lift driver refused to pick her up because of her weight. Now she's suing Lyft for weight discrimination. It was so interesting to watch her interview on the Breakfast Club, and she's saying that this is the very first time she would experience that because I know that weight discrimination is something real, it's something that happens almost every day. And for somebody to weigh 582 pounds, she's now 502 pounds because she has really done an amazing work of losing 80 pounds, which is a lot of weight. That's what all human being. But for somebody who weighs 582 pounds, it's not really easy to appreciate that significant amount of weight loss. But trust me, that is a lot of weight for somebody to lose. So she's already doing something about her weight. But when it comes to weight discrimination, we make it easy, and sometimes we feel that it's the fault of those who are obese. And one thing I found interesting in an interview was saying that she cannot say the F word, meaning fat. That we cannot say the word fat. And of course, a lot of things is changing. Culture is dictating a lot of things that we do. And it's so difficult to use the word fat these days because people who use the word are labeled as fat phobic. But if we can say somebody is anorexic, somebody is bulimic, and we can identify that, we can relate with it as a medical health problem, shouldn't we also be able to say somebody is obese and say as it is a medical problem without necessarily being labeled as being fat phobic? And for context, not everybody who is obese as a result of not eating a healthy lifestyle. People truly have genetic difficulties that make them struggle with losing weight, or sometimes they even try after a lot of hard work. They lose the weight, but then they gain it back. Or some people have been, morbidly obese for their entire lives. But as long as they can remember, they've always been big. And there are a lot of genetics studies attributed to this. But this only accounts for just a few amount of people who are struggling with obesity. But it is real and it is out there. So let's not discount that some people are really struggling with their weight. Some people are obese and they're struggling with it due to medical reasons. It's out there, and it's something that occurs, and it's something that people struggle with. So it will really be unfair to discount it and say, oh, everybody on planet Earth that is obese because they are overeating and not exercising. It was quite interesting for her to say that that was the first time she would be having that experience with Lyft, or having difficulty entering a vehicle, because it was quite clear that it was a problem. Even at the Breakfast Club, they had to give her another chair to sit on, which was, reasonable adjustment, trying to accommodate her because she wasn't comfortable on the chair she was sitting on. And it was really interesting for me to hear that this is the first time she would be experiencing that. I know I've been saying it over and over again, but it's really interesting because I know that weight discrimination is a big deal. People say that, oh, you're trying to lose weight, you shouldn't stay at home, you should walk, you should exercise. But when they are walking on the street, the truth is that they get a lot of stares. People stare at them. And sometimes we attribute it to what they are wearing and say, oh, this person is morbidly obese and the person is wearing a crop top. Should you be wearing a crop top knowing that you are at this type of weight? Should you be dressing this way knowing that you are morbidly obese and you are drawing attention to yourself? But ultimately, people people stare. That's the truth. People stare while they're walking. People stare at them at the airport. Anywhere they find themselves, people stare. It just means, it just feel like people are judging you and just looking at you and judging you for being obese. The judgment is real. I do not want to discount that at all. And it does have a significant impact on mental health. So when you're obese, you're not only having difficulties in terms of your physical health, you're also having a lot of struggle with your mental health. And I know that there's a lot of tips and tricks out there on body positivity, how to be self-confident in your skin when you're obese, how to not give a damn what anybody says, how to not care about what people think. And I just wonder how effective these strategies really are. Do they really not care? Does it really not impact their mental health? Do they really not think about it? Does it really not affect their self-worth? Does it really not affect their self-esteem? Does it really not affect their self-confidence? I wonder on a very high scale, because I know that I have struggled with weight gain. And being somebody who is out there who talks about living a healthy lifestyle, there have been times where I struggle to go out when I've gained weight because I know that people are judging me. People walk up to me and they tell me that I've gained weight. They tell me that I'm fat. They tell me that and you call yourself a nutritionist and you're this big. So people judge me to my face. And I know it affects me. It affects my thought. I go home and I think about it and I worry about it. And sometimes when I know that I've gained weight, I do not want to leave the house. I do not. So it was really interesting to hear her say all of those things. And she also shared that she doesn't think like somebody who is obese. She thinks like somebody who is skinny. She's going to wear what she's going to wear. She's going to go wherever she wants to go. And all of this reasonable adjustment that she gets from getting an extra seat on airplane. And I know that there's a lot of debate on this extra seat on the airplane. I know there are a lot of people who are for it, and there are a lot of people who are against it. But my question and my thought really is, what is reasonable adjustment when it comes to somebody who is obese? What are the kind of reasonable adjustment that we can offer? Can we start by taking away our highs of judgment? And I also understand the place of bringing back shame. But when people already identify, most people who are obese, they know that they are obese. And for a lot of people who do not have a medical health condition responsible for it, Dank even have a thyroid condition that she's dealing with. A lot of people don't even have anything. The health condition that they are dealing with are the consequences of being overweight. So they have secondary health condition as the consequences of being overweight, not primarily a medical health condition causing them to be overweight. Maybe 5% of people have, genetic problem, medical health issues, but for 95% of people, it's really due to lifestyle choices. But a lot of them know, and for a lot of people, it's really a struggle. One of the things that I was discussing with some of my colleagues some time ago was, looking back to even upbringing, some children who experience neglect when they're young, and most people who experience neglect, they get attention when they are hungry, and they know that that's the time they get attention. It's when they are being fed, and so they're wired to think of food as love, food as comfort. And it begins to grow from that very, very young age. So people begin to correlate food with love, with comfort. And it brings about this whole cycle of emotional eating. And I know that that's not really the answer for a lot of people struggling with, binge eating and eating significant amount of calories. A lot of people know, they know that, they're overweight. They know that they're struggling. One of the things that Dank shared, even though it sounded like it wasn't really a big deal, but one of the things she shared was, struggling to lace a shoe. And I've been pregnant twice. So I know the struggle when you're trying to tie the lace of your shoe. It's difficult. And she did mention it that, it can be a struggle, or you're working for a few minutes and you're running out of breath. So even though there is no high cholesterol. According to her, there is no high cholesterol. All her blood comes out fine. But if you're struggling with lacing your shoe, if you're getting out of breath after walking for a few minutes, then there is problem. And this problem is something that we should support people to be able to overcome without judging them and without shaming them for who they are. The same way you wouldn't necessarily shame somebody with anorexic or bulimic, you would identify that this person has a problem. And we want to offer some solution to that problem. We give explanation, we give them grace, but we don't necessarily offer this level of grace to people struggling with obesity. And trust me, if there is no physical health reason for it, there could be mental health reason. People gain weight for a lot of reasons. And some people, they're just on medication, they're on steroids, and before you know it, they bloated up. Or some people are having mental health difficulties and they are on antipsychotics, which is notorious for weight gain. And, they've gained weight. And while all of those things can really be corrected with lifestyle change, a lifestyle change, it can be corrected. It is difficult, but it is possible. People have done it, people are still doing it, and people are able to do it with the right support. I'm just here to say that can we just offer grace? Can we just offer these people support? If I had not watched the interview where she said, "Oh, I've lost 80 pounds already, and then the goal is to get to 300 pounds, and at 300 pounds to assess whether she would be able to do surgery, whether it's going to be a gastric sleeve or a gastric bypass, and then, if that works and be able to maintain thereafter." You would think that, oh, she's not doing anything about their weight. And that's also another pet peeve I have about, just jumping on a bandwagon to shame people who are obese or shame people who are fat or plus size, as the case may be. Don't be too quick to assume that it's just the calories. We know that sometimes people's lifestyle are the reason why they are. We also need to acknowledge that, people can be obese due to medical health conditions, whether you have a genetic problem or you have some other conditions. You have a thyroid condition and you are on medications, and all of these are contributing to weight gain. Some people, it's PCOS. They're struggling with PCOS, and maybe they're not, over 500 pounds overweight, but they are not okay with their weight. They're obese, and they struggle with it on a daily basis. So let's not be too quick to discriminate. Let's not be too quick to judge. Let's offer grace. And let's know that people, just the same way we offer grace to addicts, we offer grace to people who are addicted to alcohol, who are addicted to cannabis, cocaine. We say, oh, it's not easy. And we celebrate every day they are clean. We celebrate every day they are on this journey where they are cutting down, or they are completely no longer on alcohol. I know how we celebrate these people, and we recognize that it's really difficult, and it's not easy, but we don't offer the same grace to people who are obese and who are trying to their best to lose weight. Even when they gain the weight back, we don't even recognize that, gaining weight after losing weight, it's part of the weight loss journey. We don't acknowledge that. We don't recognize that. We are so quick to body shame rather than, be supportive. But somebody who is an alcoholic and then is on this weight loss, pardon me, and is in recovery from alcohol abuse, we celebrate them. Even if they go back to alcohol use, we recognize it as part of recovery. We recognize it as part of the addiction cycle. We recognize it as part of the motivation cycle. And we share them on, we encourage them to get back on living a lifestyle that would encourage them to remain sober. But we don't offer the same grace to people who are obese. And my question is why? Why? Weight discrimination is something real. It's something people experience all the time. It's the and thankfully she can even afford the lifts. Imagine and because she's a rapper, she can afford a lawyer. Imagine what somebody who does not have the luxury of having that kind of money or that kind of lifestyle. Imagine the discrimination they face on a daily basis, be it in the bus, be it trying to, even go for appointments, even sometimes in the hospital. I know that sometimes in the hospital, especially when you're trying to take blood, you worry that, oh my goodness, how am I going to get vein? So you can even get discrimination while in the hospital. It can really be that bad. Why don't we offer people the same grace that would like to be extended to us? Starting from us, how we stare. Oh my goodness, on the street. People will stare you down from head to toe, and you're like, come on, why don't you just look at where you're going? Why don't you just face where you're going? Drink your own water, eat your own salad, and let this woman or let this man be. So I just want to challenge every one of us today. I mean, it's easier said than done. They're already facing a lot of internal struggle, internal challenges, and they don't need external bullying in the context of bring shame back. Internet trolls that disregard that the people they are talking about are human beings with feelings who would think about everything that you're saying, who would internalize it, and who would. I just hope that Dank is having support. She's also it's good that she's on medical weight loss. She's cutting down her carbs. She has lost 80 pounds. And I'm cheering her on, really, and hopefully she'll be able to lose a lot more. And sometimes even people who have done gastric sleeve and gastric bypass, they gain the weight back. It's not uncommon for people who've even had surgery to gain the weight back. And despite having surgery, they still have to eat healthy, exercise, and try to maintain a healthy lifestyle. So I'm just sending her as much love as I can. It's good that she's doing well. She's already losing weight, and I'm hoping that we all can offer or extend her the same amount of grace. And we can all work as human beings and be conscious that sometimes we subtly discriminate against people who are overweight, and we can be kind and show grace because that's what they need, and that's the best that we can offer. But if you're here, you're trying to lose weight, the first thing is really mindset. You just have to be ready. It has to be done when you're ready. That's one of the key to lasting weight loss is having the right mindset. 80-20. Once your mindset is right, 80%, the rest is really just 20%. And the second thing is you want to start eating healthy. I recommend the plate method for a lot of people who are morbidly obese. Don't get into the rabbit hole of, running to the gym or trying to count calories and just overwhelm yourself. You need to understand that this is going to be a very long journey. So you're not jumping on the bandwagon of I want to lose 5 kilos in 1 week, which is possible at that weight, after starting weight. A lot of it will be water weight anyway, but it is very possible. But if you have your mindset right and you're able to pace yourself, like this is going to be a long journey, give yourself at least a year of consistently eating healthy, and you begin to see that the weight will begin to fall off. It's not going to be as easy as somebody who's trying to lose 10 kilos or somebody who's trying to lose 20 pounds. This is over 500 pounds that we are talking about. So you have to have your mindset right. That it's not something that you just want to do. You're not looking for a quick fix. And then you take it one step at a time. So you do a plate method. Half of your plate would be carbs, and then a quarter. Did I say carbs? half of your plate would be vegetables, and then a quarter carbs, a quarter protein and fat. And once you start eating that way, you're not restricting yourself. You're not counting calories. You're making sure that you eat till you're full. Because for a lot of people at that weight, they They eat large portions. And so trying to say that, oh, I'm just going to start eating small portion of food is really setting yourself up for failure. But you want to make sure that you're eating a full plate of meal so that you feel full for a very long period of time. Another thing is water. It's easier to just replace all the fizzy drinks with water. Replace it with water. And if you're just starting and water is not your thing, it's not something that you do on a regular basis, then one thing that you can do is to add fruits to your water to give it great taste. So you can add your cucumber and watermelon, you can add pineapple into your water. You add great taste to it. You can even mix it with some orange juice. And before you know it, you become somebody who loves water. My very, very good tip for a lot of people who struggle with portion control is to drink water before their meals. So before you start eating, drink 500 mils of water. What this does is that it automatically reduces your stomach capacity. And when your stomach capacity reduces, you're able to eat a good portion of food, an healthy portion of food, as opposed to when you're eating and then you drink water after eating a full plate of food. Most of the time, you would overeat because you will not be able to identify the hunger signals and the satiety signals that, okay, I'm full. It's okay to stop eating now. You're likely to overeat. And for somebody at a very, very big weight, you want to start by drinking water before you eat. Like I said, for a lot of them that I have worked with, they're used to eating big portions. So if they eat smaller portions, they feel hungry shortly after eating, they have headaches, they have difficulty concentrating on anything because they do not feel full. And sometimes it could be due to genetic difficulties because there's been cases, genetic cases, where some children do not feel full. They've eaten, they know they've eaten it. It's not like, this is not memory or cognitive problems where you forget that you've eaten. No, they haven't forgotten. They've eaten, they just don't feel full. So what we do for these people is distraction techniques. So we time their meals and then we distract them. We give them a lot of distraction after the meals until it's time for the next meal because they also have come to realize that I have eaten. I just don't feel full. And maybe this person is going to struggle for the rest of their lives of not feeling full after eating. That's not easy. That's not something that is easy to live with. But being even able to recognize that, that goes a long way. So which is why I would not discourage anybody who wants to do a genetic panel if they've been struggling to lose weight and it's been a lifelong struggle, or they lose weight and they gain it back. You can always do a genetic panel to identify what is going on. And then if there is, you will at least be able to name it and it will give you understanding and you'll be able to live better with yourself rather than, blaming yourself and putting it on yourself. That doesn't mean that we shouldn't work on it. Being able to identify that there is a problem does not necessarily mean that we shouldn't work on the problem, but at least you do not feel that you are entirely the cause of the problem. So it's always good to, drink water before the meals. And then after eating, drink water. When you feel hungry, drink water. When you feel like you're craving anything, drink water. It just works because I tell my clients all the time, water first before anything. Do you feel hungry? Drink water. Do you feel thirsty? Drink water. Do you have emotional craving? Drink water. Whatever it is, water first. It will save you. And before you know it, you'll be able to lose weight and be able to maintain your weight. What kind of diet should I follow? What is the best diet? You know that, there's really no best diet out there. It's really based on your lifestyle preferences. If you are in caloric deficit, irrespective of the type of diet you're following, if you're in caloric deficit, you are very much likely to lose weight. If you're in caloric deficit, you can reduce a significant amount of carbs because carbs result in sugars and gives you cravings. You're constantly in eat cycle with simple carbs. So it's always a good advice to cut down on the amount of carbs that you're eating. But should you only do keto? Should you entirely cut out carbs from your diet? Not necessarily. You can also face your diet. You know that I am a very big fan of diet facing. So you can also face your diet where you're eating high fat, moderate carbs, no, high fat, low carbs, low protein for maybe 4 weeks. And then you do moderate carbs, moderate protein, low fat. Or you do moderate fat, moderate protein, moderate carbs. So you can just base your diet. It helps you to have something to look forward to. It gives variety, add variety to your meals. It has variety to everything that you're doing. You're able to eat healthy. You're able to feel energized. You do not feel bad on the weight loss journey. A lot of people find diet facing easy, and it's easy to stick to their weight loss journey because it doesn't feel like they're doing the same thing over and over and over again. You have the flexibility to play around food, and you do not necessarily have to cut out any food permanently from your diet. So, diet fitting is something that I recommend for people who are trying to lose a lot of weight. Face your diet. And when it comes to exercise, when should I start exercising? So a lot of people have knee problems at that weight, and it's usually a struggle. But we know that weight loss is really 80% of what you're eating, and then 20% of exercise. But you do need to be active. And you can start just with walking. Honestly, walking goes a long way. Walking helps a lot of people lose significant amount of weight. So you do not necessarily have to feel pressured. I think one of the myths out there is that, oh, you have to be in the gym to start exercising. You have to be in the gym to really notice significant weight loss. But it's really a myth. You do not necessarily have to go to the gym. As a matter of fact, I do encourage a lot of people who are very overweight to just start with walking. I mean, the gym. Some people are even at the gym. They are trying to judge you. I mean, you just come in here to get real with your health, to get better with your lifestyle choices. And people are even judging you. And because you're not necessarily used to physical activity, it gets you feel tired on time. So one of the ways to build strength and agility is to start with walking. And I hope that, if you ever need professional help, always reach out. And don't be afraid to ask questions. If you know that you've been doing something, you've been cutting down and you're not getting results, ask for help. And help is available. So help, we've learned one or two things from this YouTube. I felt like I should just come on live so that we can have this conversation about body shaming with discrimination and how really it is, and how it's really very surprising for me that this is the first time that she would be experiencing that. Because I would have assumed in my head that it would have been a lot of time and she was just tired and just wanted to really teach a lesson. Like, no, you cannot discriminate against people because of their weight. But it's what's really surprising for me to hear about. This is the first time. But I guess the staring, the judgment on the street, people in this street, that's a normal thing. When they're at home, we say, why should you be at home? Why should you sit down at home? Move your body. But when they're outside, they get stared at and they get judgment everywhere. And I've told you, for real, I have also experienced that just because I've gained weight. I remember I gained about 10 kg after losing my pregnancy in 2020. And of course, COVID again. So we're not really doing much. And I lost the pregnancy then and I gained 10 kg. And trust me, I always felt horrible trying to live in the money. It was always a chore because I know that one person is going to stop me, another person is going to stop me. And people were like literally turning their nose up at me. That look at them, look at her. She talks about living the healthy lifestyle, but look at her. She has gained weight, she's fat, and all of those things. Can we just be kind and offer people grace? And thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next week. Please subscribe to my channel. It really helps the channel to grow. If you like the video, subscribe. And if you like it so much, do not forget to share. Until next time, next week, 1 p.m. GMT, where we will be talking about another interesting topic. Stay fit and healthy. Bye for now.